Pro boxing fans, we are here in Bournemouth. Shane Mcguigan, your charge, Karol Itauma, after over 12 months, puts in a 13 months, yeah. Just talk to me about his performance today.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bit sluggish in the first one or two, but then once he got his range in, he let his hands go and he got the stoppage. You know, it's like been out for 13 months, so he's been in the gym since September, October, I think he was, and then we had his fight scheduled in December, but we couldn't get an opponent last minute. It was just and that sort of fell through. But it's kind of been a good thing because we've had a bit more time to work together, and you know, he needed to fall back in love with boxing. Do you know what I mean? He's changed his team up. He's obviously got one blemish on his record, but also he's been boxing since he was a young kid. So sometimes that can make you a bit stale, being in the same gym and stuff all the time. So he's a pleasure to train, and I'm really happy with his progression.
Obviously, naturally, all the talks about his brother Moses, but just talk to me about the talent that you see, because you've seen a lot of talent come through the gym. He's the one that actually got Moses to go and follow his dreams and push himself in the gym. How good is he potentially? Is Karol?
He needs to figure out where his strengths are. He's still learning his strengths, because every fighter has that distance where they feel that they're at their most devastating. And sometimes he's trying to do it from too far out. He's really good head movement once he gets his base underneath him and he gets his shots off. And I think, he sometimes looks for too many big shots, and he holds his power really well in combination. So we need to get him into those positions and fighting in combinations throwing combinations a little bit more, and sort of slotting his head into the right angle to let those shots go, because he's got that natural southpaw ability. And I think he can. We're going to take step by step, and we're going to see how he goes, because he's got plenty of talent. He just needs to be able to go out there and execute it. So that's the most important thing, is just getting that transition from gym to fight night. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5 fights. But for me, it's just getting him active, getting him sharp, and just getting that confidence in him to be able to get his opponent in those ranges.
Just give me a quick breakdown of the rest of the gym. What's the latest? I'm going to be expecting them out. Top of my head, I'm trying to think of a few, but yeah.
Caroline's out next Friday. And then Josh has Lee Cutler boxing Sam Eggington on April 20th. We've got Chris Smith boxing Brandon Glanton on April 26th. We've got Adam Azim in Rabanan right now, so we're looking at a date for him after, probably most likely like May, June, and then I think Karol will probably go out in April again. There's potentially an option in mid-April, so just need to get him busy now, get him another 6 or an 8, and then we'll look into a 10-rounder and go from there.
Quickly, just talking about April 26th, we've had the 2 press conferences from Eubank and Conor. What did you make of Eggate? The whole, they've done well in probably selling the fight, getting a few more pay-per-views and tickets. But what did you make of that situation between Chris Eubank and Conor Benn?
I thought it was great. It was great. It's great for TV. It's excellent. Sorry, I used the dad pun. Now there's plenty of spin-offs you can do on it, but it's great. It's whether it's staged or not, I'm not sure. And that's just. I actually struggle. I thought that they would struggle to sell tickets, because that's a massive stadium, and obviously Conor's been inactive, and like when you've not boxed for a while, it's one thing posted on social media, but in terms of like articles written about you being present, I thought that might struggle. But the fact that that this press tour's done so well, I think it will do really, really well on pay-per-view and on the gate.
Well, what do you make of Chris Eubank Jr. trying to shut down Eddie Hearn at every opportunity in the press conferences? That's different. No, I don't think many people have tried that, to be fair. I think the last person that actually tried to do that was David Hay, when he fought Tony Bellew, right?
And they're friends. I remember being in the gym before David goes in, and we're sort of talking, and he goes, we sort of talked, and he goes, "This is the plan. I'm going in on Eddie, and then you come in after me, Shay, when I start doing that." I went, "Yeah, all right, I'll follow you in." But obviously he did a fantastic job. I didn't need to do anything. But yeah, no, I think I understand why he has that chip on his shoulder. There's I'm not saying anything too slanderous about Eddie, but they knew about that and they let it go into fight week. They knew about it for a while, and I think or at least a long enough time. Do you know what I mean? And they were looking at options around him. And if I'd have been Eubank Jr., I think I would have been pretty miffed as well.
Last one on this. Chris Eubank spoke to Nigel Benn and said, listen, I'll let you pass. When the whole egg thing happened, I think he grabbed Chris by the throat. Junior. And Junior said in the second press conference, I'll let it pass, but next time you put your hands around me, I'll make sure the hand doesn't come back, which obviously got Conor animated and Nigel. But what do you make of something like that again with someone that's considered a legend in the sport in Nigel Benn?
But at the end of the day, his dad's a legend as well, so and there's beef between the two families, so it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, it doesn't matter how old you are, you shouldn't put your hands on someone and not expect to get hit back. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not condoning what he said, but that's a natural human reaction.
Finally, I was in Riyadh for a brilliant court last weekend. I do want your thoughts as a trainer on Beterbiev Bivol. Just talk to me about that one, second time around, another great fight, but what did you think of that fight?
Do you know what? I haven't watched it fully.
Okay,
my little lad has just moved in from a cot into a big boy bed, and he was up and down like a yo-yo. So I was trying to pause it, start it, and then obviously I found the results. So I just sort of just fast forward and watched the last couple of rounds. So I think I need to go back, watch it. But I think Bivol, I predicted. I had a little accumulator on and I had Bivol on points, so I think that was I think it's going to favour, if they have a trilogy, I just think it favours the slightly fresher younger man. And you see, like, what I did see is Beterbiev, like, going for the gears, but he's that change of pace on him is just, has it quite gone? I'm not sure. 400 amateur fights, 22, 23 professional fights, and like they've all been at world level. And it's not just that; it's the training camps. It doesn't matter. He lives like a monk outside of boxing, but it doesn't matter how well and clean you live. Father time is catching up, and I just think it's going to favour the fresher man.
Final one, Dubois Usyk. It seems to be the talks after obviously Daniel fell ill on fight week. Do you feel like Daniel's in the right place now to have that rematch, or do you feel like he'll do better in the rematch against Oleksandr?
I think he'll do better, for sure. He's more experienced, he's older, he's got more confidence, he's coming in off a massive win. I think in an ideal world, that would have been great for him to get that fight, because it would have kept him active. He's one of these fighters that does really well when he's active and he gets that right momentum. So, do I think he wins the fight? No, I don't think so. I think there's spells in the first fight where he was landing shots, but there weren't enough spells to really tell me that it's going to change much in the return. I mean, it's heavyweight boxing, anything can happen. It's just, I don't know if he'll be able to. He might get more success, but then Usyk's just so good at taking your momentum away from you, and he's going to press Daniel back, and it doesn't matter how many swings and aggressive attacks Daniel sets about him. He's good at adjusting, and then as soon as he adjusts, he's just great at nicking that space again, and that's what he's a master of. It's more than punches with that guy. It's his feet, it's his feints, his adjustments, and that's why he's doing so well at heavyweight, because these heavyweights are the powerful, big, explosive punchers, but it's those small adjustments. He's got that from being a light heavy, moving up to cruiser in the amateurs, then cruiser up to heavy, and he's obviously got that density and that chin and that ability to take shots that has carried him through. But he's still got that light heavy cruiser mentality of that tempo of fights, that tempo of the pace. Sorry, I should say.
Shane, always a pleasure seeing you. I know you're a busy man. I'll probably see you next week actually for the show. Thank you very much for your time. As always, top man, Mcguigan.